Chosen one, a significant moment in your life is unfolding. Not through coincidence, but through what many describe as divine orchestration. The connection you are being guided toward is not simply about companionship. It is deeply rooted in purpose, timing, and alignment. As you listen to this message, understand that what's being presented is not an emotional appeal, but a strategic spiritual call to action. This is about readiness, your readiness to embrace a relationship that is central to the next chapter of your mission. In this context, divine timing refers to a sequence of events that align not by human planning, but by spiritual preparation. It suggests that both individuals involved in this relationship have undergone personal transformation, refining their character and growing in emotional, spiritual, and mental capacity. What may have appeared as isolation, heartbreak, or delay in previous seasons of your life was, in effect, preparation for what is now approaching. This message speaks to those who have experienced emotional fatigue, not due to a lack of effort, but because past connections failed to support their higher calling. The relationship that is entering your life is different in its foundation. It is not rooted in romantic idealism, but in spiritual alignment. It will not require you to compromise your values or shrink your essence. Instead, it will ask you to rise. When we speak of divine relationships, we're referring to partnerships that activate the gifts, goals, and godly assignments placed within individuals. These unions are intentional, not accidental. The presence of such a relationship in your life is a call to stewardship, to nurture it, protect it, and develop it with accountability. This is not about dependency. It is about interdependence. The person you are being aligned with is not coming to complete you, but to collaborate with you in fulfilling a shared mission. Both of you have faced different challenges that were necessary to refine character and deepen spiritual awareness. The result is two individuals who have matured independently and are now prepared to unite for a greater. Because it's essential to understand that divine timing often arrives quietly. It may not come with dramatic entrances or grand gestures. Sometimes, the person who holds significance in your life will appear in ordinary circumstances. The recognition will not come solely through physical attraction, but through an internal sense of clarity and spiritual resonance. This kind of connection speaks not to the senses, but to the soul. In the past, love may have felt unstable. It may have demanded explanations, left you in uncertainty, or asked you to prove your value. That era is ending. What's arriving now is a connection that brings peace, not confusion, clarity, not doubt. It will not challenge your worth. It will confirm it. There is a moment of spiritual readiness required to receive such a connection. You are not just being called to enjoy companionship. You are being called to steward legacy. This relationship is not just for emotional comfort. It exists to accomplish something bigger than either of you could do alone. The focus here is not on individual benefit, but collective purpose. Both you and your counterpart have been undergoing preparation personally and spiritually. You may have felt like progress was delayed. You may have questioned the presence or timing of love. But what you perceived as delay was, in reality, refinement. God was not withholding love. He was developing the capacity to hold it. As this relationship enters your life, the expectation is not perfection. What's required is awareness, intentionality, and faith. You are not expected to come flawless. You are expected to come prepared. The person entering your life has also been refined. They have faced betrayal, setbacks, and personal growth. They are not perfect, but they are prepared. And that preparation means they come with wisdom, discernment, and the emotional maturity to handle a purposeful connection. The core of this message centers on recognizing divine timing. When it arrives, recognizing that some connections are not meant to entertain, but to elevate. recognizing that when you are aligned spiritually, your external world begins to follow suit. You are not entering a relationship for validation. You are stepping into one for activation. This new relationship is not the continuation of an old pattern. It is a departure from past dysfunction. There will be no guessing games, no emotional inconsistency. Instead, there will be consistency, presence, and mutual direction. It will bring with it a sense of calm, a sense that you no longer need to struggle to be understood or seen. There will be a moment to look, a conversation, a gesture that confirms this connection. And it won't feel forced. It will feel familiar. Not because you've met before, but because your spirits recognize one another. This familiarity comes from shared alignment, values, and vision. You are being entrusted with a relationship that is not only sacred but strategic. It is built for impact. It will require responsibility, communication, and accountability. But more than anything, it will require belief in what God is orchestrating and belief in your readiness to step into it. This relationship will clarify your purpose. It will amplify your voice. It will sharpen your discipline and broaden your spiritual perspective. You will find yourself making progress in areas that previously felt blocked. Why? Because divine alignment removes resistance. It accelerates transformation. In times past, love may have demanded you sacrifice your peace. But this time, peace is how you'll know it's real. This connection won't disturb your emotional equilibrium. It will support it. It won't require over-explaining or over-performing. It will rest on mutual recognition and mutual investment. Challenge will not be in the connection itself, but in allowing yourself to trust it. After seasons of uncertainty, your natural instinct may be to protect yourself. But now is the time to open up, not recklessly, but with discernment. Because this connection is not here to harm you. It is here to help you rise. Remember, this is not just about love in the traditional sense. It is about legacy, spiritual partnership, and collective purpose. Together, you will not only grow, you will govern. You will not only dream, you will execute. You will not only speak, you will influence. That's the potential of a divinely aligned relationship. You're not being asked to rush. You're being asked to be present. You're being asked to recognize what's in front of you and respond with maturity and reverence. The person coming into your life is not just a blessing. They are a partner in mission. The transformation that begins now will not only affect your personal life, but extend into your career, your community, and your spiritual influence. This is the power of alignment. It doesn't just change your heart. It changes your life. And as you prepare to enter this new season, understand this. You're not receiving love because you earned it through struggle. You're receiving love because you are now in position to steward it with grace, wisdom, and vision. This is not about making up for lost time. This is about maximizing the right time. The timing is not late. It's precise. And it's unfolding now. As this new phase unfolds, chosen one, it is important to understand that divine relationships are not immune to challenges. However, what differentiates them is how both individuals handle the inevitable trials. In these unions, conflict is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity for refinement. Growth is pursued not through avoidance, but through intentional communication, mutual respect, and shared purpose. In contrast to relationships that once drained your energy, this connection will prioritize balance. You will not be tasked with carrying the emotional weight alone. Instead, the emotional labor will be mutual. Both of you will strive not for control, but for clarity. Not for dominance, but for unity. This mutuality will shape the foundation of your bond. In seasons past, you may have experienced connections where your boundaries were tested or your standards were compromised. But this season calls for alignment, not appeasement. There will be no space for cycles of miscommunication or emotional instability. What emerges now will reflect spiritual maturity. The key is to stay grounded in what matters most: purpose. This relationship is not just about shared interests or personal chemistry. It's about shared calling. When purpose governs the connection, distractions lose their appeal. You both begin to walk not side by side by chance, but shoulder to shoulder. By design. As you progress, discernment becomes your most powerful tool. Emotional excitement can sometimes cloud judgment, but divine relationships demand clarity. The more spiritually aligned you are, the easier it becomes to distinguish between temporary attractions and eternal assignments. One will entertain you, the other will elevate you. Trust will be essential. Trust not just in the other person, but in the process. The development of divine partnerships is not rushed. It unfolds steadily with each person, growing deeper in spiritual capacity and emotional stability. There may be moments when your individual paths require solitude, reflection, or healing. Honor that. A divine relationship does not erase your need for personal growth. It enhances it. You will find that being in this kind of union doesn't eliminate your individuality, it strengthens it. You are not being asked to lose yourself in love. You are being invited to find your highest self in the presence of love. Communication in this relationship will feel different. You will not feel silenced. You will not be forced to hide your truth. Instead, you will be invited to share, to express, to listen. Conversations will carry weight, not because they are heavy, but because they are honest. There will be no pretense, no manipulation, just clarity, grace, and the kind of transparency that builds trust. The foundation will be spiritual, but the practical support will be undeniable. You will find that your visions are compatible, your work ethic mirrors one another, and your faith journeys complement rather than clash. This alignment opens doors, not only internally, but externally. Opportunities that once felt distant will begin to arrive, not because of chance, but because of alignment. When you are aligned with the right person, the atmosphere around you shifts. Doors open. Favor increases. Resources find you. But even as the external blessings come, remember, the relationship itself is the blessing. Not what it brings, but what it becomes. A sanctuary for healing. A partnership for impact. A vessel for legacy. That is the role of divine relationship. Don't be surprised if your intuition sharpens during this period. You may find yourself receiving confirmation, not only through dreams or spiritual signs, but through unexpected clarity. You'll notice how peaceful decision-making becomes. Where confusion once lived, clarity will now reside. Where anxiety once controlled your steps, discernment will take over. This is evidence that the spiritual realm is working on your behalf. It's a sign that your preparation has met its moment. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be present, to stay aware of what God is building and to handle it with care. Fear may still linger. That's natural. When something meaningful arrives, it often triggers our deepest doubts. You may question if you are ready, worthy, or capable of maintaining such a connection. But remember, readiness isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to walk in the right direction. You have been tested, refined, molded. The pain, confusion, and isolation you endured were not signs of rejection. They were signs of redirection. You were being shifted, not punished. Now, the realignment begins. A realignment of priorities, emotions, visions, and goals, all guided by a shared purpose. This connection will demand consistency. Not perfection, but intentional effort. There will be no room for passive love here. Divine alignment calls for active participation. You show up. You listen. You adjust. You grow. And you do it together. In moments of uncertainty, return to the foundation. Why was this connection formed? Why does it feel different? Why does it feel aligned? If the answer points to purpose, growth, and peace, it is likely part of your divine assignment. This season is also a time to reevaluate your expectations of partnership. If you've been taught to expect drama, instability, or inconsistency in love, this relationship will challenge those beliefs. It will model something better, something stable, respectful, and emotionally safe. Be mindful not to sabotage it with old habits or unresolved wounds. Healing is your responsibility. The other person is not your healer. They are your partner in wholeness. Do your inner work. Stay honest with yourself. Communicate your needs and allow the relationship to evolve organically. It is also important to understand that timing plays a central role in divine connections. Even when the alignment feels right, divine timing may require patience. You may be in communication, but not yet in union. Trust that the delay is developmental, not punitive. Some relationships are built slowly so they can last longer. In the meantime, keep cultivating your character. Deepen your spiritual roots. Maintain your emotional stability. Stay focused on your purpose. Divine relationships are drawn to stability. When your inner world is steady, your outer world begins to reflect that same strength. You are not waiting for someone to save you. You are preparing to walk beside someone who matches your mission. When the time is right and the foundation is ready, you won't need to chase. The connection will arrive naturally, aligned with ease and clarity. This next chapter of your journey is about union, not just romantic, but spiritual. Two people becoming one in mission, mindset, and maturity. This is not just about you finding love. It's about you becoming love. A reflection of divine partnership in action. Chosen one, you have not missed your moment. You are not late. You are right on time for what's unfolding. And what's coming is not just a relationship. It is a spiritual alignment that will multiply your impact, strengthen your voice, and empower your purpose. The world is shifting. New realities are emerging. And in the midst of this transition, divine unions are being formed, not for comfort, but for contribution. You are one of those unions. What begins now will not only change your life, but affect every life your purpose touches. You are being entrusted with someone's heart, just as they are being entrusted with yours. Handle it with reverence. This is not just about being seen, it is about being understood. Not just about receiving love, but about becoming a conduit for divine love that heals, empowers, and sustains. In conclusion, divine love is not something you fall into. It's something you rise into, with awareness, with maturity, with trust, with purpose. Chosen one, as you step into this final phase of alignment and spiritual transformation, it's essential to understand the broader purpose behind this awakening. What you're experiencing is not simply about personal healing or emotional fulfillment. It is the unfolding of a larger assignment, one that affects your legacy, your influence, and your contribution to the world. You were not chosen merely to find peace in isolation. You were chosen to become a light, a stabilizing force in a time of widespread instability. Divine alignment in relationships is a small but crucial part of a greater cosmic strategy bringing unity, restoration, and higher consciousness to a world that has long drifted from its sacred center. The spiritual transformation you've undergone has reprogrammed your understanding of love, connection, and purpose. You're no longer looking to be saved or completed. You now understand that love, when aligned with divinity, is a force that elevates both people and multiplies the impact of their combined mission. This new kind of union you are entering, or preparing to enter, will not resemble the connections you once knew. It is not transactional or superficial. It is sacred. It is not built on dependency, but interdependence. It's not driven by ego, but guided by mutual service and purpose. You are now being asked to approach this relationship not only as a partner, but as a spiritual steward. That means being intentional with your words, your energy, and your emotional availability. It means choosing love not as a fleeting emotion, but as a daily act of devotion and responsibility. There will be days when the emotions feel distant, when fear or uncertainty clouds your heart. But divine love isn't about momentary emotion. It's about consistent choice. You will need to choose patience over pride, understanding over assumption, and communication over silence. In divine partnership, disagreements are not weapons. They are opportunities to refine understanding. Instead of retreating or reacting, you are both called to respond with emotional intelligence. Every challenge becomes a mirror, reflecting areas for healing, patience, and growth. You may ask, how will I know this relationship is truly divine? Look for the fruits of spiritual alignment: peace, clarity, mutual respect, emotional safety, and purpose-driven unity. Look for communication that builds rather than breaks, for love that empowers, not controls, for presence that brings peace instead of anxiety. These signs may not always appear immediately, but over time, divine alignment reveals itself not just in emotion, but in consistency. There will be a harmony that cannot be forced, an ease that replaces fear, and a depth that transcends physical attraction. Chosen one, you have done the hard work. You've healed, you've let go, you've waited in silence while the world moved on. Now, you are stepping into a space where what once felt distant is now approaching with clarity. The preparation was never wasted. The waiting was never empty. But remember, this divine connection is not the end goal. It's the beginning of a joint mission. The universe does not bring two awakened souls together for comfort alone. It unites them for divine purpose, impact, healing, and legacy. You and your partner are now walking into a chapter where your voices will carry farther. Your energy will reach deeper, and your presence will influence more lives than ever before. The union will not only feed your soul, it will nourish your surroundings, heal generational wounds, and raise new standards for what divine love looks like. That's why protection is necessary. As you rise, not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will celebrate your union. Some may attempt to undermine it, either intentionally or unconsciously. But your job is not to appease or explain, it is to protect. Protect the connection by maintaining boundaries. Protect the energy by avoiding unnecessary drama. Protect the mission by staying aligned with your purpose. Be careful with who you share your most sacred moments with. Not everyone is equipped to handle what is sacred. Spiritual relationships, especially those built on divine alignment, must be guarded from noise, distraction, and spiritual interference. This does not mean secrecy. It means discretion. Your union is a divine assignment, not a social event. Treat it as such. This connection will require spiritual discipline. That includes prayer, meditation, accountability, and reflection. The more you both grow spiritually, the more clearly you will understand the deeper layers of your mission together. The relationship becomes a sacred practice, a space where both of you become mirrors for each other's highest selves. There may be days when one of you is weak or tired, discouraged or afraid. And in those moments, the other will be called to carry a little more weight. This is not imbalance, it is grace. In divine relationships, both people take turns being strong. There is no keeping score, only keeping pace with love. In this form, becomes a force of transformation. It teaches you how to be soft without being passive, strong without being forceful, clear without being cold. It's the balance of divine masculinity and femininity. expressing itself not in roles, but in essence. Masculine energy in a divine relationship is not about control or dominance. It's about protection, direction, and presence. Feminine energy is not about submission or silence. It's about intuition, nurture, and creation. Together, they dance. Together, they build. And what they build will last. Not because it's perfect, but because it is grounded in truth, resilience, and grace. In the seasons ahead, your relationship may evolve. It may stretch to hold more purpose. It may shift as you both grow. That's normal. What matters is that your roots remain anchored in the same spiritual soil, mutual values, shared vision, and unconditional love. Never forget that you are both still growing. Divine alignment doesn't mean the work ends. It means the work now has a clearer focus. Each day becomes a step forward in healing, evolving, and impacting the world through your union. Together, you will rise, not just as lovers, but as spiritual allies. You will speak life into each other. You will protect each other's peace. You will grow together, not apart. And your love will serve as a testimony that divine alignment is real and possible. But perhaps the greatest lesson in this divine connection is that love is not the destination. It is the path. A path that leads to expansion, to service, to purpose. Chosen one, you have been entrusted with a sacred task. Not everyone receives this kind of love. Not everyone is prepared for it, but you are. And as you continue to walk this path, may you do so with courage, with reverence, and with unwavering commitment. Your story is no longer about longing. It is about fulfillment. Your journey is no longer about survival. It is about legacy. So, move forward, not just as someone who has been chosen, but as someone who now chooses. Choose to love intentionally. Choose to speak with clarity. Choose to build with purpose. Choose to protect what is sacred. This divine relationship is not a gift to be taken lightly. It is a responsibility, a call to higher love, deeper faith, and greater impact. And in the seasons to come, as life brings both challenges and victories, may you always remember, what you carry is rare. What you share is sacred. And what you build will outlive you, because it was born of divine alignment. You are ready now, not just for love, but for partnership. Not just for affection, but for destiny. Step forward, chosen one. Your divine union awaits. Chosen one, now that you have received the message, experienced the awakening, and stepped fully into the reality of your divine alignment, it is time to act. Transformation without action is only potential unrealized. You are no longer the person you were when this journey began. You have been awakened, equipped, and empowered. Now, the universe is asking, what will you do with this revelation? This is your sacred invitation to commit, not just in thought, but in intention and action. Your next steps are not just about spiritual reflection. They are about conscious participation in your destiny. You are being asked to engage with clarity, with courage, and with full presence. This is not the time to retreat or to question. This is your time to show up for yourself and the divine mission assigned to your life. So, what can you do right now? First, affirm your alignment. Speak it aloud. Write it down. Declare it into your environment. When you speak your truth, you activate the energy around you. Say, I am aligned with divine purpose. I am ready. I am the chosen one. These words are not just affirmations. They are spiritual declarations that awaken everything dormant within you. Second, commit to consistency. Divine awakening is not a one-time moment. It's a continual walk. That means making space in your life daily for spiritual practices that anchor your alignment. Whether through prayer, meditation, journaling, or reflection, remain present and open to divine guidance. Don't let this be a fleeting inspiration. Let it be the beginning of a daily transformation. Third, protect your energy. As you rise, distractions, doubts, and old patterns may try to creep back in. Set clear boundaries. Be mindful of the people, habits, and environments you allow into your sacred space. Guard your peace. Guard your growth. You are now the gatekeeper of your own light. Fourth, connect with others on this path. You are not alone in this awakening. Thousands of other chosen ones are receiving their divine assignment in this season. Support one another. Share your experiences. Uplift each other with honesty and spiritual encouragement. Community strengthens clarity. And finally, if this message resonated with you, take one simple yet powerful action now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment the words "I am aligned" below. These aren't just digital gestures, they are spiritual signals. They tell the universe that you are not only listening, but responding. That you are not only awakened, but committed. Every like, every word, every connection is energy sent forward. Energy multiplied. Help this message reach more chosen ones who are still searching. Be a vessel through which divine truth can travel to others. This is your moment to be seen, to be counted, to be activated. So answer the call. Stand tall and boldly declare, "I am aligned. I am ready. I am the chosen one." Chosen one, if this message spoke to your spirit, take a moment now to respond. Like this video, subscribe to stay connected with more divine guidance, and comment "I am aligned" below. This simple act is your spiritual signal, an affirmation that you are ready to walk in purpose, love, and clarity. Don't keep this awakening to yourself. Share it, live it, and protect it. You've come too far to turn back now. The time is now. The mission is real. And you, chosen one, are fully prepared. Step forward with confidence. Your alignment is not just a moment, it's your calling.